What's up, guys? Eli here, back for another CD collection video. Just got 10 CDs out of my collection. Pick up where we left off last time. Got a nice stack here, 10 as always. So, yeah, hope you guys are doing great. It's Friday. I don't work today. I haven't been working lately for a while, but anyways, yeah, hope you guys are having a good week. And we're gonna kick it off with a black metal classic, a U.S. black metal classic, in my opinion. We're going to talk about the debut album from 1993 from Have a Hedge, Paul Ledney from Profanatica. I don't really know the story of why he started Have a Hedge, because this Have a Hedge would become kind of experimental sounding later on. But I mean, this first album is definitely in the vein of early Profanatica. So yeah, gonna show the back. This is originally came out in '93 on Candlelight Records, which cool for them, right? Because they haven't always done good stuff. But this is the Hell's Headbangers re-release from 2007. But either way, super happy to have that in my collection because it's just a fantastic album. I'm a big Profanatica fan, so that's mandatory. Next. And you might notice that we talked about this band in the last CD video, but I sometimes misfile shit and get it mixed up. But anyways, we have one of the only two Hawkwind albums that I own. So what we have here is Electric TP. This is from 1992. This is a 2000 repress. Now, I'm not a big Hawkwind fan. I think they're a cool band and everything, but not something that I go for very often. That said, I do know some Hawkwind fans, and I've never heard anyone talk about this album ever. It might be because, Hawkwind has like 30 albums, so that might be part of it. Maybe it's not really a fan favorite. I mean, especially since it came out in, '92. It's not one of their early albums, but I have heard, I've heard a handful of Hawkwind albums, and I actually really do like this one. What I like on this album that I don't really remember from the earlier stuff is there are some pure ambient tracks on this album. I'm not talking like ambient, intros or interludes, or I guess you can call them interludes, but I mean just full on 100% ambient tracks, and the ambient tracks are really, really fucking good. So good that I would listen to an album just of those ambient tracks. I don't know if Hawkwind have a purely ambient album. I don't think they do, but if they ever do one, I'd buy that. Third, we have one of my favorite underrated death metal bands. At least I would consider them that. But we got Headhunter DC from Brazil. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of this band. I never hear anyone talk about them. This is their, let's see, it's like their third album or something, I think. I have the 2005 repress that originally came out in 2000. So it's got the slip cover. That's what's underneath it. So yeah, just a really, really cool, nasty death metal band out of Brazil. There have been like at least two guys from Mystifier have been in this band at various points, and I'm a huge Mystifier fan. So if you like Mystifier, Headhunter DC don't really sound like that, but I mean, you definitely get Brazilian. They definitely sound Brazilian in a good way. Yeah, just crushing death metal in the vein of maybe like early Hate Eternal, later era Morbid Angel, stuff like that. I mean, just really good. This isn't even my favorite album by this band, but it just happens to be the only one that I have. But it is good, so no complaints there. Next up, we have the only album that I own from Hills of Sephiroth. This is his full third full length album. We got the Neglected Ancestry. This came out in 2005 on Wolfrune Works, black metal label. So you might know this band. It's a solo black metal band project, whatever you want to call it, of Justin Stubbs from Father Be Fouled, and Father Be Fouled and other bands as well, which are all really good. I should point out. If you haven't heard Father Be Fouled and you like death metal, you definitely listen to it. But I gotta say, so I remember I only got this album like a year ago. I remember when this project was active, and I don't know. I remember always kind of hearing like negative things about this, about Hills of Sephiroth, and I'm not sure where that came from. Maybe it's because that was kind of the time period where a lot of solo black metal bands, were coming up out of the U.S. So maybe there was just some pushback towards that. I'm not really sure, but I actually really, really like this album. I think he does black metal really well, and it is kind of minimalist, kind of, and I would even say along the lines of like depressive black metal, which honestly I like a lot of that stuff. So I think this is very good. And then we have one of the very few things I own from Hyrax, which is weird because I really, really like Hyrax. So I have this. This is a compilation of three EPs that they had, called Noise, Chaos, War. EPs were, let's see, Barrage of Noise, Chaos and Brutality, and what's the other one? Assassins of War. So this came out in 2010 on Thrash Corner Records. And like I said, I like Hyrax a lot. I just don't own a lot of their stuff. But yeah, I'm happy to at least have this, along with, I have a tape of theirs as well. But this is just more of the same good Hyrax, brutal thrash metal. I like everything I've heard from Hyrax. They are incredibly underrated. Just great American thrash metal band that probably never really got their due if you think about it. Next we have the debut full length from, I think they're from the Seattle area. We got Hissing with Permanent Destitution. This came out on Profound Lore a couple years back. 2018 maybe, I'm not exactly sure. 2018, yeah, Profound Lore. So I like this album. I don't think I'm probably going to buy more stuff from Hissing in the future, which, not to get negative, I like this album. It's not quite my cup of tea, which is kind of surprising because, what Hissing do, essentially, they're like, I'd say like a black death metal, very Portal influence. I say they took some influence from Portal, maybe Deathspell Omega. Both bands I like a lot, but funny thing is about Portal and Deathspell Omega is, as much as I like both those bands, and I do, most bands that take like inspiration from them that came later, I don't like nearly as much. But yeah, if you like Portal, Deathspell Omega, maybe some other stuff, yeah, Hissing, you could definitely do worse. Then I have the debut full-length album from this band that has, I don't know if they're still together because I never hear anyone talk about them anymore. This came out on Ibex Moon Records, John McEntee from Incantation's label. This came out back in 2009, I think, but we got the debut full-length from Hod with Serpent. I like this album a lot. I liked it. I've liked it ever since it came out. And so Hod are a black death metal band out of Texas, and like I said, I never hear anyone talk about them anymore. They did put out a second album some years after this, and after that came out, or even really before that, I never heard many people talk about them. But after that album, I certainly, I don't know if they went on, I think they did go on a hiatus, but I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But Hod, just really good. Like imagine Morbid Angel meeting Immortal. Put those two together and you just have some really, really kick-ass black death metal. To go along with that, I also have their 2013 demo that they put out on Bandcamp, the Uncreated demo. I believe all these tracks, it only has like 3 songs, I think. 3 songs, yeah, and they all show up on that second full-length album that I never got. So at least I can say I've heard those songs, but I really need to get that album. Then we have the debut full-length from 2003. We got a Danish black metal band, homagang. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pronounce the album. Runens Advarsa. Yeah, why do I do that? I have a strict rule for myself where I don't try to pronounce, foreign album titles. Every now and then I will try, and then I will just hate myself. But anyways, Denmark, black metal, came out on Total Holocaust Records. They put out at least one more album after this, maybe even a few, but they have broke up, I think, a couple years ago. There's not a whole lot to say about this. I mean, it is just kind of early to mid 90s sounding, raw black metal in the vein of, early Dark Throne, a little bit early Burzum. That very, very Scandinavian sounding, which is definitely not a bad thing. It's probably why I own it, but it's not. I don't find it to be particularly remarkable, but I do put it on from time to time, and it is good. It's just, it's not everything can be great. Let's just leave it at that. Yeah. So this next one right here is a very cool one. This is Holy Death, black metal band, old black metal band out of Poland, with Apocalyptic War. I mean, this band goes back to like 1993, and funny thing about this album is this is actually a repressing of their second demo from 1994, and this type of thing with this band has been done a lot, and I don't know why. They will put out their stuff will get re-released, but then they'll put a different name on it. I don't know if that's a thing that the labels do or the band does, but they've done it a bunch in their discography, and it's kind of confusing. But yeah, just really good black metal. Even I think I would hear some death metal influences. If you've listened to a lot of Polish metal going back to the 90s, you kind of can get an idea of what to expect. It doesn't sound like the Polish bands that most people know about, Graveland and stuff like that. They don't sound like that. They're almost more on the death metal end of things as far as like their guitar tone and playing style and production and everything. So you could almost call it black death metal, but whatever, I just call it black metal. But really, really, really good band, kind of underrated. So look into Holy Death if you like, old black metal and you've never heard it. It's good stuff. So yeah, that's all I got, guys. I have a lot of really cool videos planned in the future. I'm really enjoying doing reviews. Definitely check out that review that I did a couple days ago, because I'm not gonna say my review is really good, but the album is really good, and I want people to listen to it, and I want people to talk to me about it. So my next review, I'm still gonna be reviewing the Transcending Obscurity promos. I'll just give you a heads up. The next review I'm going to do is an album that I don't like. So I don't know if I'm going to continue doing that. Usually I only like doing reviews of albums I like. So next time, if I listen to a promo and I don't like it, I don't know if I'm going to keep reviewing it. But I don't know. It was kind of a fun challenge, because I've never done it before. Reviewing an album I don't like, in a genre that I don't really like. I don't know. It's a cool challenge, I guess. So, anyways, I'm going to take off. Louis says hello. He's taking a nap. But thanks for stopping by, guys, and we will talk soon. Cheers.